We've got some good news to report, and it's always an honor when we have good news to bring your way. But a settlement was announced yesterday that ensures that Navy service members who refuse to have the COVID vaccine for religious reasons, they now have an opportunity to have both their records corrected and their careers protected. The Navy also agreed to post a statement affirming the Navy's respect for religious service members, to provide more training for commanders who review religious accommodation requests, revise a policy related to accommodation requests that was actually changed during the mandate. And they also had to pay $1.5 million in attorney fees. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Danielle Runyan, who is the First Liberty Institute's senior counsel and also chair of their military affairs portfolio. Danielle, welcome back to Washington Watch. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, look, congratulations. This is a big settlement. Tell us what this is going to mean specifically for those affected.
Well, we had a mission to protect the careers of the over 4,300 sailors that we represent. And we went in with a strategy, and we came out being able to maintain all of their careers and to allow them to continue to serve without the issues that they face, right? Like you said, records are going to be corrected, promotion boards are going to have information provided to them so that these people will not have to look back at the impact and the harm that they suffered. And they're going to be able to go forward with their careers and to continue to serve in the way that they did pre-COVID.
That's amazing. And listen, again, not only me, but so many across this country say thank you for the incredible work that you and First Liberty Institute have done. In fact, y'all have been involved in this for a couple of years. I think First Liberty was won, actually, the first major victory in the nation against the vaccine mandate. Tell us a little bit about that, kind of the history of First Liberty in this whole situation.
Yeah, so, the mandate came down at the end of August in 2021, and pretty much immediately, and even before the mandate came down, the messaging was really, really negative, really punitive, and people just saw the writing on the wall. So we were kind of prepared for those who wanted to submit religious accommodation requests. We were kind of gearing up for the fact that there might have to be a lawsuit that was brought. And then when we saw really how the discrimination was just across the board, across the services, we had a number of Navy SEALs that had come to us and said, our careers are in jeopardy and we don't know what to do. So instantly, we decided to represent 35 of them. And from there, we were able to obtain the first relief in the nation out of any of the other cases that were filed. We were able to put the stop to the bleeding to save their careers. And then we decided in January of 2022 to extend that to the over 4,300 sailors that we now represent. And then we got class-wide relief in March of that same year. So really, we set the stage for all the other cases. And we think that this settlement agreement will do the same. Not only will this benefit the 4,300 clients that we have, but we really think this is going to help the other service branches as well.
Yeah, that's my next question. How widespread is this going to be? What kind of rippling effect is this going to have across the entire military? I know there have been pockets of successes along the way, but how widespread is this going to be, do you think?
I think that we've made a significant impression on the Navy, on Navy leadership. And look, how does that not extend to other service branches? People are taking a look at this and saying, this was a settlement agreement. This was not something that the judge came out and ordered. And frankly, we think that the relief that we got is even more than the judge could have ordered, because early on in our case, Justice Kavanaugh made it clear that there's certain things that judges can't do when it comes to military affairs. So, if one service branch is recognizing that there was significant harm here and that things needed to be corrected, it's undoubted that the other service branches are recognizing that as well. Frankly, if these tens of thousands of people were removed from the military, the national security crisis that we'd have on our hands would be monumental.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that. I know every branch has fallen horribly below their recruitment goals, and part of the reason has to come back to the fact that their religious accommodations, this whole debacle through the COVID thing was just, and the Afghanistan withdrawal. I mean, there's so many things to point to, the woke policies being forced upon them. But this is a huge part of it, and I would anticipate that when things like this start getting corrected, potentially we're going to see a turnaround in some of those recruitment goals as well. What kind of response have you received from various service members who have been affected by this, or maybe some who have not been affected by it but are greatly encouraged by it?
From the service members who have been affected by the mandate, those who had their religious liberty rights severely impacted, we have had tremendous thank yous. I mean, we had people who were ready to retire, who almost lost everything that they had sacrificed over the past 19 years to 20 years of their careers. That was about to be all lost. And we were able to protect those service members. There's others who have come to us and have said, the harm that I've experienced, that my family experienced through this, being stashed in positions that made no sense for my career, those people still have claims that they can bring. And the court yesterday made very clear that is allowed. And in fact, the government's counsel also made very clear that if there's other harms here, people can pursue that in other ways. But in terms of the relief that we requested and that we got, it was within the full jurisdiction of the court. We achieved everything that we possibly could have out of this case. And that was our goal, and we achieved that, and that's a significant victory. It was a long, hard-fought battle over the past 3 years, but every step of the way, we achieved excellent case law precedent, and now a settlement agreement that people can walk away with and have in their hands to say, my career is protected, and here are the reasons why.
That's fantastic. Well, I know just in my time as a member of Congress, we had so many service members who were dealing with this very issue on the cusp of losing everything that they had been a part of for decades, some of them. And to see this breakthrough is a tremendous step forward for each of them. Again, hats off to you and everyone there at First Liberty. We are deeply, deeply appreciative. Thank you so much, Danielle Runyan, for joining us today on Washington Watch. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.